where they have like the giant slide, like that tube slide. Or there was one time we were there, and all the kids are having fun. And yeah, you get it. Like kids are gonna move kids out of the way. Kids are gonna climb over kids. I understand that. But there was one kid that was just sitting at the end of the slide and would not get up and move. And all these kids wanted to slide down it. And like when some kids would try and slide, he would like almost like push them away. And I felt like, where's this freaking kid's parent? And I realized, I don't know if it was a parent or a babysitter or what, but she was like sitting on a bench playing on her phone.
Oh.
So finally, I'm just like, hey kid, why don't you get off the slide? My wife said, what are you doing? I was like, look, there's a whole bunch of kids that want to go down this slide. Like, what am I supposed to go over that lady? Like, ma'am, can you please tell your child to get off the slide? Sorry to interrupt you with whatever you're doing if you're on TikTok.
Also, people who stop walking in the middle of a busy place like an airport.
I hate those people.
It's awful. I don't do this.
I also especially hate hate's a strong word. I severely dislike people when they're walking a crosswalk and they're just taking their sweet ass time when you're trying to turn.
Rate of play, baby.
They're on their phone. You know their legs move quicker than what they're doing. And then when they see you and they see that you're trying to move, I almost like feel like they even slow down more. Just to be like, I'm establishing this is my territory.
Yeah, move along.
I was like,
no, you do have the right of way.
So you have to wait until I'm in a car. I'm kidding. I'm not gonna.
Neighbors who don't respect the quiet hours, especially after midnight.
I feel like you might be guilty of that. But you have you live on a farm of 5 acres.
I do, and we've thrown some epic parties out there, but also that's why I
they
live
have festivals at their house.
Nope.
Like with bands performing and like DJ tents. Yeah. I keep meaning to go to one of these like your Halloween parties.
You guys gotta come.
One of these days I will. I just don't know if it's I don't know if I'll ever come back.
There was just one year there's been a couple of years where I had our direct neighbors who are wonderful people sent me a personal message because, I always say, don't call the police, call me or text me. Hey, what time is the festival ending? The music is really loud. And I'm like, well, it is 2 a.m. I think that's a legitimate request.
We should probably shut it down.
Let's shut the music down.
Which we have neighbors, and they're awesome. These neighbors, they're kind of behind us, super great. And I say that they're super great. They just wave at me when they drive by, and I wave back. That's the extent of our. Or if they're walking their kid around, we could hi bye.
Oh yeah.
But they seem really nice. But they love throwing parties, maybe once a month, and they're, especially when the weather's nice, they're outdoor karaoke parties.
Oh, I want to be friends with your neighbors.
I want them to move closer to you because nothing sucks more than listening to people poorly sing songs. And they use a speaker, which I don't know why. Like, do this in your house. Why are you doing this in your backyard? And you can hear it at like 11 p.m. them singing, random Celine Dion.
Sweet Caroline.
Yeah, different, Billy Idol, whatever it may be. And sometimes I'm like, oh, I like this song. And I'm like, I'm trying to sleep.
Oh, yeah. That's a bummer. Drivers who hang out in the left lane driving too slow. We had someone on Cellmates that got pulled over for driving
Yeah, our
too
buddy
slow.
Drama, he called it. He said he got pulled over for going the speed limit.
People who park in designated spaces that don't pertain to them, like accessible spaces for people with disabilities or curbside pickup if you're not actually curbside picking up.
I was wondering that last night, shockingly, Tatum wanted Chipotle.
Well, people that cut
It's
cost
usually our
parking
Tuesday night
spaces.
dinner, but for some reason she stepped it up and wanted it on a Monday night. So what are we supposed to do? So I went up getting it, picked it up, and there was a car that it was in the curbside, and I get in, I get out. There was nobody like waiting to pick up food. I'm like, I think this person just parked there and is eating inside. Maybe they were originally going to go back to their car, and they're like, you know what? Let's just sit down and eat.
And no flushing the toilet in a public restroom. That's another one.
Okay, you're a savage.
But
But you know what? In all fairness, I've been to some places where the toilets don't work all that well.
Yeah, sure.
And like you flush, and like I don't know about you guys, not to get graphic, but are you guys like, do you like to make sure that you've disposed of everything? Like, what I mean? I want to make sure that I flushed it.
Like, leave it better than you found it.
Or at least leave it the same. But like there are some that I'm just like, this toilet's awful. This is the worst toilet I've ever been around. So maybe it's in those situations where people think they did, like you flush and you walk out, and you just assume everything's good.
Oh, good. Ugh. It's giving me the heebie-jeebies just thinking about public toilets right now.
So what do you think is like one of the more like one that popped up, and I always love when they put up those memes where it shows like how like why Americans can't live in a lawless society, and they base it on whether or not people will bring back their shopping carts.
Oh.
And that's the one for me. Like I get so annoyed when I see somebody go to their car and they fill up their car with whatever's in their shopping cart, and then they just leave it either in like in an empty spot next to them, or they just kind of like push it to the side. And I'm looking, I'm like, it's a little bit of a walk, but it's not that bad. Like you really can't bring it all the way back.
I mean, I've seen videos of people being shamed for it, and I love that. Shame them. Shame those people. And people that say, well, that's someone's job to collect and put away the carts. No, that they had to create that job because you're not putting away your carts.
And honestly, I view that job as their job is to take all the carts that have been respectfully put back and bring it back to the store. Like, that to me is their job.
That is, it's not going to collect them from the parking lot in random places.
And I feel like there's probably some gym goers that would agree. Like the people, and you see the signs, and I never thought I'd be that person. I get so annoyed when people don't put their weights back. And you're just like, especially, I don't mind. It gets annoying when like the dumbbells are not in perfect order. It's kind of frustrating. It's the ones where like it's a machine where you have to put like a free weight on it, like a plate on it, and then they don't put it back, so you don't know if this machine's being used or not. So now you're just kind of like that weirdo that keeps checking to see if it's being used, and then eventually you do use it, and then some dude comes out of nowhere and is like, "Hey, I'm using that, man." I'm like, no one's been here for like the last 30 minutes. What are you talking about?
See, I always put my weights back. I thought you were going to go with the people that don't wipe down
anything
the
above
machine
average,
after
you
they
gotta
use
have
it,
wind.
and there's the big
At
old
least 10
sweat
miles an
stain
hour.
on it.
Yeah.
And I have been guilty of just forgetting. Like, I'll walk away from using a machine, and I'm like, oh, I never cleaned that one. Sorry.
Sorry about the Danny Musk left behind.
And I'm not usually like I think it's my wife that's with me. She's a massive
Hard to tell if it shows live.
She won't even, like, if I get home from the gym, she's like, don't sit anywhere. Make sure you take off all that clothes. Like, she's like, so sometimes I'm really hungry and I get home and I'm just like, I want to eat my lunch. She's like, hey, standing